Yes, you may swill, slurp, and even slop it about. But there's one thing about this vintage, there's always more where that came from. And a good time for each drink, too, as Tom would say. Believe you me, as Mary might add, and as they all used to say, believe me, you, before laughing. So, remember, Grasshopper, that the chorus of one must needs be a chorus of the many. So does this wine divine serve itself, its vintner, and all the swelling hearts of those such as we who, lolling about on its swells, are as joyous as we are profoundly lost in our cups. There's a theme here. Speaking of drinking, this is my infamous ode to pee. Bless this water that has passed through me. Bless this water on its way to the wine-dark sea. May this water catch a moonbeam's glint just so to shimmer in the eyes of a beauty's ardent face set aglow. Bless it in all the waters with which it flows and blends. Bless that in all the air in which its mingling vapor ascends. By this means bless the seven winds which carry it away over the seven seas to mountains, farmlands, every hill and dale, and into coastal fogs where it precipitates from trees. Nor forget sunset where its gleaming prism catches the sovereign's blazing rainbow hues, or in the moon's silvery light plays it at the limb of our pellicle of atmosphere to cast an eerie halo of high, austere, icy delight. Bless this water that once was I, that once was a part of my heart, mind, and I. Bless this water from the one cup we share. Bless the passing of excess to spare. Yes, blessings pour each drop from the sky to clothe the world in the greenery we espy. Forever a river flows through us within. Thus do I offer unto thee my singular and overwritten ode to thee. My mother, thank you. My brother, thank you. My second cousins, best friends, neighbors, second grade teachers, dogs.
All right, let me see who follows on, as they like to say in France. Folgen Sie mit an. Oh, Mr. Sanderell is coming back for the Open. Then we have Bob Dewhurst before our feature, and let us take care of that business. Now, will you kindly come fourth or fifth, Mr. Sanderell, as you please. Give him a nice round of applause.
Are you having problems with this?
Just a little bit off the volume,
Okay.
but it seems to.
Well, I've got 25 1-minute videos at home.
Oh,
It seems to be okay now.
Okay, I don't know. Where am I? You're right there. There it is.
Put that there and see.
A couple of things to take care of. Can you give me her name again? The woman we're going to.
You mean Indigo?
No. Yeah.
Karen Melander Magoon.
Karen Melander Lagoon.
Yes.
Yes, I don't know if anybody remembers, her husband has passed. So I thought maybe if we can get a piece of paper, if people want to sign, those who know her, let her know that we've heard, and we're
Thinking of you.
thinking of her. Yes, thank you. And we would mail that to her. So we'll pass it around at some point. The other thing is, next week I'm going to read a review of what I did last year on the Jim Pepper tribute. I don't know if anybody got to see that. But they're going to be doing it again at Yerba Buena Gardens. I think it's on the 5th. And I highly recommend it. I hope I do the review of last year justice so that you'll want to go and see it this year. Anyway, this is called Jimmy and the Anthem. It's about Jimi Hendrix. Jimmy and the Anthem? No, not a hippie anthem. the national anthem. I wrote a piece that there is no national anthem I would ever stand up for. However, while remain sitting, I will give a nod, one that tells the truth without ever saying a word. Its person, instrument, gives voice. Jimmy's ancestors and elders know the stories that are told through his music, not through some patriotic stand-in whore who wouldn't know the truth if it jumped up at him or her and begged for more. The blood, guts, pain, soaring planes, dropping bombs, bursting in air and ground, shaking and stating the narrative from electricity in him and his guitar. It will stand the test of time. It speaks of the empire's forever wars where bombs bursting in air are the imperative. We drop them at your command, sir. At your command, sir. Drive-bys, at your command. Military, police, gang, family. Where did these thugs learn it but from the thugs from the empire's best? Look again in the mirror and the enemy is guileful, and it is still you. Let's give recognition to the truth of these times. Ask those who you ignore, or are you too scared? And a nod to you, Jimmy, a nod to the truth you tell without ever saying a word. As you can tell, sometimes I look back because I wasn't writing back at these times, and these are sort of my looking back at some of these times. This is a little more recent, called John, George, Dick, and Family. Did you ever wonder about John Wayne Gacy, who paints clowns and is executed for his crimes against humanity, but George Bush paints himself in the shower as a mass murderer still walks free? Did you ever wonder when Dick Cheney said he had better things to do than to go to Vietnam, that there was barely a ripple detected, and still walks free for his war crimes committed over the decades of wars for profit under the guise of ideology? Did you ever wonder why no one ever protested over Obama getting a peace prize when there is no peace, because we threw bombs and left, leaving humanity and their homes and places looking like thousands of twin towers? And it must be said loud and clear, they didn't even have anything to do with it. Think of the rage there must be, the crying like a forever storm of pain, the letting of blood onto the mother's skin, but not to be seen by the Usans like in Vietnam. The ape puts his hand on his head and cries, so much killing because we can. Did I ever wonder? No. I've seen and heard too much. We hold our war criminals in the highest regards, and it's just those damn serial killers we don't like, so we say. Depends who they're killing. USA claims to be against these killings, unless it's their own killers. USA, you lost your country before you ever had it, and it is assured because there is no longer a people's army, there is only the government's paid army. As in Greece and Rome, all empires crumble. USA's killers like Gacy could not be any more creepier than the Johns, Georges, and Dicks of the world. Thanks for measuring up to our expectations. This is this people's history of USA.
Thank you, Mr. Sandrell. Bob. All right, this is Bob Dewhurst, a friend of mine. Give him a nice round as he comes up. Then we have our feature of the evening, and then if you do want to read, we'll take care of signing up people during the break because there is some room here, and we'll take care of it.
Thank you all for coming here, and apologizing because we're going to leave after the feature, which I don't like to do, but we got to get up early for work. So Danny said tonight the theme is washing machines. I actually wrote a poem, something about a washing machine. It's the only poem my dad ever liked because it's probably the only one that carried a linear thought pattern. it's raining hard. I wander in a warm place I know. Outside, gutters gurgle. Sheets of water splatter off, flapping storefront awnings. Car horns waft in the windows. Need a little rest. Get you tired walking up and down all those hills besides. My feet are wet and it's real toasty at the laundromat. Before long, notice something funny going on in the dryers. Empty pants, bras, sweaters, revolving helplessly past glass portholes, spread-eagled. Yes, it's a sacred dance. The empty costumes, their senseless, flailing gestures, showing me something too ironic, something real cosmic. Man, it's just too much. Nothing you can put your finger on, really, so I wink my eyes and nap off, a tickle of mirth, a butterfly in my heart. I got a couple new ones here. Working Man's Tao. Dull the blade, dim the lamp, round the corner. Take the long way home. The only test is passing yourself, and don't forget to feed the animal. This is one. It took me 50 years to write this.
Only.
I wanted you in the worst way, under my skin and in my blood. Oh, lady, you were just beautiful. I wanted to eat you. Instead, I ate my heart out, as you suggested. It wasn't half bad, and the other half was pure gold. I bit it to make sure.
Wow. You hit the nail on the head with that theme. Okay, so now one of my favorite parts of the evening is to brag on somebody in public, and they have to sit there and sort of this. So, where is he? Where is he? Oh, thank you. Al Auerbach back there. Give it the Queen's way so they know who they're really So, greatest thing since sliced bread. My mom used to say that. I love that you included that. The greatest thing since sliced bread. Just to give you an outline, his poetry's appeared in the Haight-Ashbury Literary Journal, Poet Talk, The Throwback, Bay Area Poets, Seasonal Review, ding, 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 Poe, I've been in Poe, Ambush Review, The Gathering, Guardsman, Harm's Way, a chapbook, and Poets 11, the 2008 book. And he's done history research in the California history and Yerba Buena, land grab and community resistance. He's been a co-editor of Poet Talk and editor of the poetry of Beth McDonald from Meridian Press in 2006. He's been at the Frank Betts Center and done readings all around the Bay Area, East Bay, North Bay, South Bay, West Bay, well, West Bay, that's us. But what you're about to hear is someone who's very careful with his words, very focused, intent. There's an intuitional sense and a dreamy quality that all comes through in kind of like I don't want to say, is that me? Yeah. I don't want to say narrative in particular, but there's a narrative sense to it, but it's dreamy and it's esoteric. So, welcome Al Auerbach to this microphone, please. It's a wonderful thing to have him here. There we go. There we go. And after he's concluded, we'll take a quick break, and for those people who did want to sign up, there are spaces. We'll take you in the second half and go from there. So, thank you, Al.
Thank you, Dan. What a nice introduction. My goodness, you are tall.
It's my mom's fault.
Yeah. Good job. Yes. What a nice house, and already what a great evening. So I'm very pleased to be here, and very pleased to have been invited by Dan. a little business, just a little bit first. I just want to make sure that everybody knows about this publication, Extraordinary Pleasure, put together by Dan and Clara. Truly a work of love on their part, truly a work of love on Don Brennan's part. It's the, I guess it's the summary or sum total from all the books that all the chapbooks that he wrote and I mean that he published, but never in one place and never like this. So if you have a chance, you can check with me about it or them.
Yeah, we have copies available.
It's really great.
Well edited too.
Great book.
And he helped with that. He was like, I mean, he found things we just didn't even see.
I did help, and I was pleased to help. It was a great. I was glad to be associated with it. Right? I am. Okay. I hope this all goes well. I'm very pleased. I'm very happy to be here. I've always wanted to have a feature here, and here I am.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you that 3 nights ago, I was walking with Susan, my wife, down Genesee on the way home, and I've had cats cross my path and other things, but within 1 minute, I had 2 skunks cross my path. And I've never heard anybody, make anything of that, but I didn't take it as any good sign. But we'll see. You'll get the judge.
Good sign if you didn't get sprayed.
But I didn't get sprayed, and I didn't try to. I didn't make any moves. The first poem is Spring Terraining. Sounds like spring training. It's not. It's about spring, but not about baseball. Anyway, there's a lot of nonsense in it. But it starts off very seriously. April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. So that's the opening of The Wasteland. Those are the opening 4 lines. And I think it's the section, The Burial of the Dead. So this is where I come in, and this is where it kind of goes downhill, and this is where it kind of goes underground, because I wanted to get a sense of what goes on under the ground with that rain. So it's my version, Spring Terraining. All us scrubs in cold ground, deeped breeders, barely flickers, left for dead. But up there, big spenders, no sooner in the sack, it's soak and tease, that soft, relentless slack. They know how. Get 'em drunk. Get 'em wet. Get 'em talking mud. Bring your squim herds. Hurr it down. Them 'em all. A lush, alluvial, off rations now, off our backs. Load pallets. All out for sprig. Trading, spilling grass. Let fists of flowers plume. Blunderbuss bouquets coming through. Lever up and by all portals breach. Suck light in the high deep crystal well. Bend to wind's blue velour. Arch out belladonna. Hello, Rose, red-headed through green skirts, top turbulent, non-stop, opening your perfect splits. Bring on your bees with grazing wings, heavy thighs, gold dust. Hey, huzzah! Step right up. We'll put on a show for you. I just want you to know, because you may not know, that Sacred Grounds has been the longest running open mic event for some 40-some years. Yes, I think.
72.
72, 44 years. But I also want you to know that in the late 70s, Barry Biederman here, a friend of mine, will attest, there was a softball team sponsored out of here, on which Barry was a player, on which I was player for a couple weeks, but they invited me, which was nice. And you know, then it was kind of over for me. I picked up later with some other people. But I just want you to know, of all the things, I throw almost nothing out. My wife knows, my daughter knows. But I did get rid of my Sacred Grounds t-shirt. But I just want you to know that it was a nice t-shirt. They did it nicely. I think the owner at the time, maybe the current owner, sprang for the, you know, for these. And they were kind of lovely in a summer, very bright orange, luminescent sort of way. They had a white ring collar. They had an orange netting short sleeve. They had Sacred Grounds coffee house like that, and then a nice steaming cup of coffee right in the center, you know, fragrantly moving upward. It was very nice, and I was number 12. It was very nice for me because when I played Little League, I was number 12. Anyway, it's just a little bit of San Francisco history and my history. Yeah, if there's time later, I don't think there will be. I'll read a poem about baseball. But part of tonight's event is an anti-war theme, or at least
that's part of it, and the washing machines.
And washing machines. I can do the anti-war thing. So this is a poem I wrote some time ago. It's about Troy, the defeat of Troy, the Grecians going, the Greeks going to Troy, fighting the Trojans for 10 years, besieging the town, finally destroying it after 10 years. So I just tried to imagine just an aftermath to a struggle of that magnitude. An unrecited Iliad haunts Troy's shore. Empty wind, wandering breached walls, towers dethroned by Grecian arms, cannot bring to words crimes of warriors long decamped from bone dreck, blood-drunk sands, sleeping off death. It would cry of the unburied, triumphs mad, gloat victors blindly grasping spoils, by war's stench undeterred, who stole away, goaded by their gold, offerings forgot, plunder stacked in holds like lead, till the furied sea raged against their strokes, tearing at their keels, finally broke the rhythm of their oars. Such oneness of their folly, such eagerness for home, pulled below they sank arrayed, rank on rank, 1,000 silent golden shafts arcing to the deep. It would tell how, homeward beating toward the other shore, as though in fear they won't arrive, speed their myriad spirit ships, gilded hulls resumed only in the dying light, recalled again by the sun's last glint on roiling waves, where they were caught and sunk. Each dusk their golden oars go dark. Thank you. And last week I read a poem about coffee, about day without coffee.
Yeah.
But the theme last week was ravens or crows, and if I had paid attention, I would have read this poem then, but I'll read it now. And I just want to mention there are plenty of crow poems out there. But mine has 2 crows in it.
Are you crowing about that?
Okay, maybe there are, but also there's a Tom Clark. There's a But there's also a Tom Clark poem with 2 crows in it. So I'm not going to read his, but I have his printed up with mine. This allows me to be on the same page with Tom Clark, who's a favorite poet of mine and of Buford's. And poetry professor. So here's Dark Day. Two crows exploding like a tower tore up the startled sky, twined against the other's sundering might. Each wing thrust bested with its own, they strove against the pulling earth, the blue resistant air. Strife sealed, thunder born, dark light hurled from an unseen storm, they tighten day, threaten heaven. Accelerated by desire, fright, joy, or furious power, on silent, thrilling wings they drove, black arcs splitting blue, till thrust into the solar rings, blind light, they sheared apart, still soaring, vanished in the glare. Ashes in the dimming air. This is a Kerouac poem, kind of on the road oriented. So I kind of have to read this just to have my thoughts. So people do still talk about Kerouac and the Beats. There's no question about that. And here one night I heard a guy talk about, knowledgeably it seemed to me, about On the Road and the Beats being some kind of natural emanation of post-war America. And American men in particular, dislocated and disrupted by war. It sounded good to me. So in that vein, the one that runs on cars and gas and many other fuels is a short take on Kerouac. And that long, unwinding scroll of paper on which he's known or said to have written On the Road. Tight. Kerouac hears America singing around 1950. Mind in turn, that ear unfurling in, vibrant, eager for trips his pals bebop up this open road, tracks laid, every riff. Speed freed, on and on, up and in they flare from their mouths to God's ear, on fire engine gin, manic for the race of air, rage of talk, going up in wings, up in hymns. Amen, omens for free men, pour out, pour in. The spinner of all wheels is near, coolly burning horn for fuel. Jacked up to high heaven, channeler and dynamo, he amps his nerves and drives his keyboard over dawns, nights and days in cataracts, rolling out his holy scroll. America, America, or bust. Thank you. This poem, a more recent poem, is called Sick Transit. I have to work this out. So, Sick Transit. I'm getting older. For a long time, I was wondering when the things associated with age were going to show up, and whether and when, and they have. They have.
You're on schedule.
They're all coming.
What'd you say?
They're all coming, including that.
I know.
So, Sick Transit, but 600 Transit is taken from Sick Transit
Gloria.
Mundi. Thank you.
Wow.
How fleeting are the glories of this world. Boiled down, this isn't the poem, boiled down, our vanity is here in our body. We live it every day. Our glory is here in our body. We live it every day. Our end is here in our body. We live it every day. So sick as in thus or so, and sick as in sick. And my doctor, by the way, I gave her the poem and she said she liked it. And I was very happy because in a way she's in here. Or what she treats is in here. Sick Transit. Let's start with that second toe. On the left. Hammer in it. Claw. Bent and crooked. Strikes before it's shouldered through the gate on buddies now. Those fracture sounds get up in ascending cricks, bones reckoning. You advance to minor knocks. There's the double life of lungs, 2 near drownings in a month, twice pneumoniac, rough surf all day in exchange for breath, and skin that's held in honeydew smoothed the way and kept you in these years, has taken up with loose cells from lymphos, who cram the strand with friends, drown them day by day to drive them off, poisoned by your own hand. Depreciate, and word gets out. Every part wants to turn slow dancing this cascade. And take her waiting, interested. This next one doesn't have a title, but for a title it would be Hit, or What's in a Knee Broken by a Car That Wouldn't Stop. So this is one of 18 or 20 poems I wrote in Harm's Way, a chapbook which has to do with my wife's being hit by a car by a careless driver who ran a stop sign and in our neighborhood. This is 14 years ago, a long time. I'm glad to say she's recovered remarkably as anybody could. And so I had to work she had to work her way out of that, through that, and I sort of had to work my way. The birds that glided through your knee, shattered, shot. Those not dropped, scattered screams, ripping ears. Wings in flame, they wheeled, they shrieked, crashed to asphalt, broken beaks, bodies seared. Some still clatter through the air, burning, can't stop. Others disappeared. Just one? Yeah, sure. That's good. Okay. So I have to choose here, sort of, with one more poem, between my grandson and my grandson and my wife.
Ooh.
What is that?
Grandson, wife, grandson.
I can't remember that. Okay, great. Okay. Benjamin wins, Sean. Okay. So this is child's play. I'm very fortunate to have a grandson living in San Francisco with my daughter, son-in-law. I babysit for him. We babysit for him once a week, sometimes a little more. He's 20 months, and this was about a year ago, so when he was 8 months. And you're not supposed to write about grandchildren, because it's like writing about your cat, and everybody knows your cat is the greatest cat, and your grandchild is the greatest grandchild. It's true, but it's not his greatness. No, it's not his greatness. It's the power of his ability to, the power to change everything in an apartment, like geographically, like in the apartment. That's really what this is. Child's play. 8 months in, and in his sleep, already moving rooms around. By birthright, retainers day and night, chamber now royal red, and his alone, the first estate. Presiding in the crimson chair, imported from 20 feet away, commands the breast, or the bottle slants, just so, and then dismissed. His carmine blanket, once the floor, pastures sheep, grazes cows, grasped, gnawed, dropped at whim. The power grip, the jaws on him. Ma, da, oft to the living room, dragging the bed he started on. Oh, half exiles, oye, oye, look who rules love's brazen throne. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, stellar feature. All right, let me just make a couple of quick things here for those people who need them. Just quick reminders.
We're going to take a quick break, but if you haven't signed this and want to still for Karen, Melinda, Magunda, they'll be right there. If there are people who do wish to sign in, there are a few more slots, and I'll talk to you about that here. Just move that. And then just to let you know, Teddy is talking about trying to get together poems by poets who have been here or know about Sacred, have experience about the history. And next week, people who bring those will read them here, and we'll try to decide who wins the drink sandwich combination. It'll probably be by acclaim, but we'll work that out in case there's difficulty and controversy. Anyway, we have a couple other things, upcoming features, just so you know. Next week, we have Clyde Always. Where is he? Clyde Always is back there. Next week. After that, the 25th, we have Marvin Heimstra, then E.K. Keith on the 1st, and Jan Dederick from the East Bay Area Poets Coalition. So some stellar people coming up. And the email thing is right over here, and I'm here, and you're here, and we're here, and we're going to take a break. I'll stop talking, and then the camera will be off during the break time, just so you know, so you can walk around and no one's going to say, I heard you say. So, anyway.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We shall return directly.
I need to let you know the poem.
Oh,